Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? This is it, the final year of the car next to me. What is it? It's the 2024 Chevrolet Camaro. This particular one is not only an SS convertible, but this is also a Redline Edition. But before we get into this rear-wheel drive V8 powered performance car, let's talk about what's going on here. It's a damn shame. The Camaro is coming to an end for model year 2024. I remember back in 2002 when they killed off the Camaro, and it's nice that it came back, but I'm not so sure I want it to come back after this go around, because many are saying it's going to be an electrified vehicle if it does. But I don't want to think about that, because that just makes my head hurt, makes my stomach hurt, makes me want to throw up. But what we do have is we still have that V8 goodness underneath the hood. And with this particular one, being a Redline Edition, it has some special touches that I want to show you. Plus, guess what? We are extra lucky because we have a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, in the world of these performance muscle cars, things are drying up. Challenger's coming to an end. Charger's coming to an end as we know it. This car, that leaves us with one car left standing. Last man standing. Who is it? It's the Mustang GT. So what I want to find out is, do you go brand new, redesigned S650, or should you go with the last of this Camaro SS? Let's go ahead. Let's dive in and find out what's the better convertible, Mustang GT, Camaro SS? Let's check it out. Right off the bat, I love the color combination. This gray metallic with the Redline accents, I really feel gives it a nice extra touch to make it stand out from the rest of the Camaro crowd. Now at the front of the business, you're still gonna get that same design. And I'm so glad that they changed what they messed up back in 2019. But you're still gonna have full LED projector beam headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals mounted down low. Full functionality with the flat black. This one has the extra arrow with that long splitter. Love the way it gives it that extra style, but that is a functional piece as well. More downforce, and it's color matched. Now, as we come across the front grille, you have your SS badge. What does SS stand for? Super smart. If you buy one of these, you're super smart because you got some performance underneath the hood. It stands for super sport. And remember, that goes all the way back to 1967. We have the blacked out bow tie, and then of course you have some of that carbon flash metallic. That's what they call their gloss black, fully functional on the bottom portion of the grille and the top portion. But like I said, I'm so glad that this is how they're finishing it off, because back in 2019, when they had the bow tie, they had that flow tie in the center of the bumper, it just didn't look right. But definitely more aggressive, I think, than the new Mustang GT. Now, as we rise up, you got that bulge that you want, that nice performance bulge. And what's interesting is that when you look at the heat extractor on the Camaro and you look at the heat extractor on the new Mustang, very, very similar. Remember, the Camaro had it first, so who copied? Obviously, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but that's gonna help bring the cool air in and pull the hot air out. Plus, it just gives it that nice extra aggressive sporty look. Now as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna notice when you go Redline package, you get the red lines, the hash marks on the wheel, gloss black wheel, 20-inch wheel, like the split spoke design. We have our 4-piston Brembo calipers, and I am gonna zonk those because they should be red on a Redline. But I do like the way they say Camaro at least on them. And if you're wondering, what Joe, what's the size of this tire? 245 on the width and a 40 series sidewall. But that's only the beginning of the touches for the Redline. Now, as we rise up, and I'm gonna swing it around here, I'm gonna show you the next step. You have the red badging, the Camaro badge with the red, white, and blue. I love the way the red makes the Camaro name pop on the side of the vehicle. You're gonna get a little bit of red trim, nice and slim. And then for some reason, somebody decided to turn on the radio here, and I just shut that off. That's kind of weird that that just came on. It's like there's a ghost of the original Camaro SS that is here with us at Dimmitt Chevrolet, because this is the death. It's the demise of the Camaro. But you do have that red little strip that tells you Redline with the red on the badging and on the wheels, gloss black, of course, color matched around the window frame. And then I've always liked the dimensions of this generation Camaro. It's smaller than the 2010 Camaro, the 5th gen. This is 6th gen, and it's definitely smaller than the new Mustang. And that's gonna show us dividends when we go and do the drive because it's lighter. Now, one of my favorite parts is on a convertible Camaro, you have a nice tonneau cover. And you see how when it's closed, it looks really clean. The convertible top is stored underneath. That's one of my big zonks about the convertible top on a Mustang. You actually see it folded. And to me, that just doesn't work right. You'll notice we do have, of course, your Brembo calipers, all 4 corners. And then when you come out to the tail end of the business, what's interesting is that you're gonna get this painted gloss black rear wing. That's part of the Redline package. There's our red hash marks. Nice, simple, not too much in your face, but I like the way they painted the spoiler. And then of course, you're gonna get the smoky cleared out tail lenses. Your SS badge stands for Super Sport, and a little bit of flat black where the bow tie is. I think it's the nice subtle touches of the package. It's not too much in your face, but the good news is there's also touches on the interior. Now, as we drop it down to ground level, you're gonna get your dual exhaust, one exhaust tip on each side. It's that sort of flared out trumpet style. You do have different modes with this vehicle. Of course, you have a limited slip diff out back. And like I said, the great news is on our Super Sport, we got a 6-speed manual transmission. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and check out the heart of this Camaro. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have struts to hold open the hood, and you'll notice that beefy brace up front across the top. It's like a steel girder off of the Brooklyn Bridge. That's gonna stiffen up the front end of this vehicle. And then underneath the hood is that V8 goodness. 6.2 liter, naturally aspirated V8. My zonk is this engine cover. I wish I could see underneath. I wanna like almost pull this off, the intake plenum with the 8 individual runners underneath. But I do like the way it says Camaro, and I love the way you can see that nice large throttle body, and of course, our airbox. What do we got horsepower-wise? It's real simple. 6.2 liters equals 455 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque. Now let's talk about that for a second. You don't have as much horsepower as a Mustang GT, but we got way more torque, and it's that torque that's down low because this is a pushrod Chevy V8. With the 6-speed manual, if you know how to do the dance with your twinkle toes, 3.9 seconds 0 to 60, quarter mile goes by at 12.1 seconds at 118 miles an hour. MPG 16 in the city, 27 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs a little bit over 3,700 pounds. If you compare that to the Mustang GT, the new one, you got about 418 pound-feet of torque, but it does have more horsepower, 480 horsepower, but the problem is how much it weighs. You're looking at over 3,900 pounds on the new Mustang. But why don't we go ahead, this is the last year, it's almost like blowing out the candles on a death cake. Can't say it's a birthday cake, it's a death cake. We're gonna blow out the candles by revving this thing. Let's fire up this Camaro and hear its roar. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Chevrolet Camaro SS Redline Edition. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want to freaking treat myself. I bust my butt every day. My kids are always busting my chops. I'm trying to make everybody freaking happy. I want to make myself happy. I want this Camaro, but I may also want a Mustang as well. But how much is this Camaro SS? Well, first of all, you deserve to treat yourself because you do bust your butt. And on this one, you're looking at an MSRP of $57,000. And if you're curious, the Redline Edition basically costs $2,100. So that's what you get with the wheels, the spoiler, the badging, and wait until you see what's on the interior. Very competitively priced compared to the Mustang GT because those aren't cheap. But let's see what you get to the door panels. I like on the Redline Edition, you get some splashes of red. Up top, you have leather style material with the contrast stitching, also on the armrest and the center of the door panel. And then you'll notice some bright red. You'll also notice a groove in the trim. That's LED ambient lighting, which is really nice. And we have the Bose sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, love the nice leather style material with the stitching. It is hard plastic, but you know what? It does still look super clean. They do a great job on the AC vents, especially to open them and close them. I love that touch. Slide on in. If you want big screens and you cannot lie, then this is not the car for you. All you're getting is an 8-inch screen. The great news is it's got all the features you want. Like I said, that ambient lighting, you can change all the lighting to different colors, more colors than there are on the Rainbow. And you'll notice even up top, the ambient lighting goes around the edge, the outer edge of the infotainment system. One area where this really does super well is the clarity of the cameras, which are nice. And then as you work your way down, we do have 3 stages of ventilated seats, heated seats, dual climate control. And I love the way to adjust the temperature. You actually twist the trim ring. Very, very nice touch. You have the bright red for your knee protection with the stitching. But here's where the magic happens. That 6-speed manual transmission, nice crisp engagement, short throws. I love the perforated leather, the way it says SS on top of the shift knob. And this is a Tremec 6-speed, which remember on the Mustang GT, you don't get the Tremec. So this right there is a big win. You got your mode selector switch. You got a place for a 12 volt, and you're gonna wanna run a radar detector, I promise you. 2 cup holders. I wish that they would do red stitching, so that's a zonk. With it being a Redline, I would like red stitching. Open this up, maybe 2 Twinkies. That's it. If you try to put a third one in here, you're gonna bust cream all over this interior. Leather seats, love the softness, the stitching, the SS badge. Nice bolstering, not too heavy, not too light. Power on all the seat controls. And what's great is that with the convertible top up, you have a lot of headroom in here. And we have a digital rearview mirror. Now I want to show you the back seat. I'm going to try to reach over and do this so that Steven doesn't have to. I like to spoil him from time to time. Back seat area is where the Camaro loses. You do get red seat belts for everybody. So that's an additional 5 horsepower. And there is wireless charging back here, believe it or not. But those seats are too tight compared to the Mustang GT. The Mustang GT has a little bit more room. But I don't know. I'm liking this Tremec 6-speed. But why don't you get your butt over here? I got a flat bottom steering wheel I want to show you in this Camaro SS. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I love the Camaro name greeting you every time you open up the door. It's got the ambient lighting within the letters. All the power seat controls. Remember, on the Mustang, you only have power bottom, not power back, which always doesn't make sense to me. And what I like about these seats is that they don't have crazy bolstering like the Recaros in a ZL1 or the optional Recaros in this that you could get in a Camaro SS, but they have better bolstering than the leather seats in the Mustang GT. Steering wheel is where it's at though. 2 different types of leather, perforated and smooth, flat bottom with the SS badge. It is a heated steering wheel, which is nice. Flat black on all the switch gear, manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And if you're wondering, why does a manual transmission car have paddles? It's for the automatic rev match downshift to turn it on or off. And then guess what? You get your cake and you get to eat it too. You have that 7-inch digital gauge cluster with analog tach and speedometer. The rest is easy to see, easy to figure out, and you have a head-up display. I think that's the one area for me where this takes it over the Mustang GT is the lack of ginormous screens. But why don't we go ahead, let's see who wins the trunk wars let's check out the space in this Camaro. All right, guys, time to get into that trunk. And this is that one area where, guess what? The Mustang lays the smackdown on this Camaro, because you lift it up, you got about barely enough room for 2 loaves of bread, because you'll notice that the convertible top takes up space. Actually, you have to do this to make sure that you don't mess with that convertible top. You keep this part up like that. And basically, like I said, 2 loaves of Wonder Bread is all you're gonna fit in there. If you are a hungry kind of person, I would recommend the Mustang GT because of the trunk space. But why don't we go ahead? I don't care about a trunk, whether it's big or small. What I care about is the on-throttle experience. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We got a 6-speed manual. Let's get rolling in this Camaro SS. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024, the final year of the Chevy Camaro. And we're gonna start with the top up. I will put the top down, don't worry. But it's interesting to think about, because comparing this to a new Mustang GT convertible, even though you don't have the fancy screens in here, you're still getting a lot of awesome performance. And of course, that pushrod V8 sounds fan-freaking-tastic out that exhaust. With the top up, you do have some major blind spots. Obviously, once you put the top down, that's gonna be a different story. But the automatic rev match downshift, the Tremec 6-speed manual transmission, and I'm actually digging this Redline package. Even though it's just some aesthetic stuff, I just think it's a nice separator between a standard Camaro SS convertible and this particular model. But once you get used to the overall tighter confines of the cabin, I really feel like you're gonna enjoy this car a lot. Especially when you look at the weight compared to the Mustang GT. Might be down on some horsepower, but I really think the weight kind of negates the whole thing. Automatic rev match downshift works like a freaking dream. And you do still have a nice large 7-inch digital display with the analog gauges. Yes, you have the smaller 8-inch infotainment system, but to be quite frank, it does everything that you need. And you got a head-up display. But here we go, pulling away from the light. You ready? Oh, throttle, here we go. Yeah! Love the sound of this freaking car. And it's interesting because a pushrod V8, the older style pushrod V8, has such a distinct tone to it compared to the Coyote V8, which has the newer cam setup on it. Inside, I love all the different colors that are going on. The red seat belts, the red on the door panels and on the center console. The leather quality in here feels fantastic. And then, of course, the performance. If you know how to do the dance on your twinkle toes, you're really going to enjoy how this vehicle drives. We got heated seats, ventilated seats, full leather. The bolstering could be a little better, but the bolstering is better than the leather seats in the Mustang GT. And then, of course, the back seat area is going to be way more cramped than the Mustang, but who gives a damn? You're driving this thing. Let the people in the back suffer if they even want to come along. If they don't want to come along, fine. That's just more weight. But I just love the way you sit looking out across the hood, seeing the heat extractors, feeling kind of like the car is part of you, the way it's wrapped around you. I really dig that. All right, guys, pulling away from the light. I do like the clutch action. It's not like an on-off light switch. Not a heavy clutch, so don't worry about that. Are you ready? Second gear. Oh, throttle, here we go. Yeah. I love the way this car makes you feel. And that's why it's a damn shame it's going away. And I could care less that it's coming back. If it comes back as an EV, I don't care. I don't want it. Call it something else. But driving this car is what it's all about. The sound, the throttle experience. You really feel like the throttle is truly connected to the engine, just like they used to be by a throttle cable. It has really good pedal actuation. The feedback through the wheel is fantastic. And like I said, even though this has been around for quite some time now in its current state, it still performs against that new Mustang, the S650. Tit for tat, man. Another thing you'll like is they did a great job with it being a convertible, with not being a lot of vibration and noise. Obviously there's going to be more wind noise, there's going to be more road noise because you have a cloth top, but still reasonably quiet in here with the top up. I can't wait for you to hear the V8 engine when we put the top down. Speaking of that, let's get to it. All right, guys, we have the top down. Blind spots are gone. I put up the side glass so that you could hear me a little bit better. We'll go on a roll from a dead stop. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! The sound is freaking amazing of that naturally aspirated V8. You have all that torque down low, and that's really where this car feels so much better than the Mustang GT because of the torque. We got 455 pound-feet of torque compared to 420. That's a big difference. I love how the chassis is just ready for you to throw anything at it, whether it's straight line stuff or twisty bit stuff. It does it so well. Steering, like I said, feels great. You got that flat bottom steering wheel. And I'm telling you, with this Redline package, it just adds that little extra specialness. There's not a lot of buffeting in here, which is fantastic. And the air is going clearly over my head. And remember, I'm 6 feet tall, so that's really, really good. But let's do it again. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Smooth, crisp downshifts. The Tremec you're gonna love rolling through the gears. Remember, you don't get a Tremec on a Mustang GT. You're kind of stuck with the Getrag 6-speed. So definitely the better transmission in this car, for sure. But it just feels really good to be behind the wheel of this car, and then you just get on it. On throttle, here we go, all the way. Really, really nice. And like I said, there's not a bunch of buffeting in here, which is crazy. I think you can actually get more buffeting in a Toyota Supra with the windows down than you do with this car with the top down, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Brakes feel great. They really have developed the chassis over the years and really have made it that much better, especially for this final year. But this is really the perfect temperature right now. It's about 70 degrees. This is the perfect temperature for top-down cruising or top-down on throttle, whichever you prefer. This Camaro does both well. Very comfortable. Seats are great. It just... I keep having to hold back the tears that they're getting rid of the Camaro. I mean, it's just crazy to think it's happening again. I remember 2002, trust me. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Second gear. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Really, really wonderful. Really wonderful. And when you go over bumps, you're not getting all this judder from the chassis and stuff. It's really nice that they've been able to take convertibles and really make the chassis that much better. The V8, man, the V8! Who gives a damn about electric cars? And that's the thing is, you know, back in the day, with a convertible, they would have to put all these different types of bracing underneath the vehicle to try to stiffen it up. And that would cause all sorts of body flex, add extra weight. Now they don't have to do that anymore. It just puts a big smile. If you don't smile in this car, there's really something wrong with you. You're not a car enthusiast, that's for sure. Here we go. On throttle! Really, really nice. Really nice. And this isn't, like I said, a ZL1. It's not crazy horsepower. It's nicely balanced and it feels freaking good. It feels so good. I mean, look at this. The handling, superb. I could do this all day long, but I can't. We got to get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. Definitely got to thank Raheel, Eli, and the rest of the crew getting us access to one of the last of the 2024 Camaro SS's. I tell you, I really had to hold back the tears on this one, especially because it's such a fun driving, engaging car experience. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. Are you gonna go last year? You see how I did that? Last year of the Camaro SS, or are you gonna go for the Mustang GT with those big, huge screens that are just like stuck into the interior? Let me know which way you're gonna go in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like the bona fide champ that he is. He's getting swole. He may break the camera one of these days just from his sheer strength. But thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.